Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Killer J. Y'all can call me KJ and welcome back to another video. And growing up, I was a Goosebumps kid like through and through. I watched the TV shows, I read the books. Even as an adult, I watched the episodes from time to time and I put them in the background when I'm bored. And back in the day, it seemed like every kids channel had their own like kid-friendly horror show. Except for Disney. They just had like, I don't know, Wizards of Waverly Place or some shit.
Oh my gosh, someone sent me flowers. I wonder who it could be. Me!
Today we're going to be looking into a horror kids TV show that basically rivaled the fame and popularity of Goosebumps. It aired on Nickelodeon and we all know how scary that place is.
Did she say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary.
And it was called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it seems like every time I talk to people about Goosebumps or any scary show from the past, opinions seem to differ. I have people that prefer and grew up watching Goosebumps. I have people that literally prefer Are You Afraid of the Dark? So it's always been kind of like a debate of which one is the best. I consider Are You Afraid of the Dark Goosebumps like slightly older cousin. No, not the one you want to fuck, you bastards.
Don't fuck your cousins.
The one you think is cool, but in reality, they just seem cool because they're just a little bit older, but they're just like kids, just like you. Because if you put them side by side, they're basically the same premise, the same show. But Are You Afraid of the Dark is, and no pun intended, just a little bit darker. And today we're going to be talking about one particular episode that stood out from a lot of people, even in Reddit and people that I've talked to about the show, because of its grisly like idea and ending. By the way guys, before we do that, follow me on all social media. Links are down below. Also, I'm live from Monday to Thursday on my Twitch TV/KillerJ. All the links are going to be in the description. So go support your boy. Follow me there. Damn, this chair's...
Bruh, come on. Why you gonna grab it like that?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I thought I saw a spark. Off the back, before we start like talking about the episode, I remember I gotta like confess, like I wasn't a big fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it was mainly because it aired at night, the fucking creepy intro, and I don't know, I was just watching some other shit at that time, like probably like Adult Swim or something like that. I don't know, because it aired late at night and it had a creepy fucking intro that I just didn't like fucking like seeing. It was fucked up. To me, it almost resembled like an old school American Horror Story, but it had like those visuals and a creepy fucking doll popping up. Like I don't know if you guys remember that shit. That shit would creep me the fuck out. And the thing is, it had no music. Like it had no music. At least Goosebumps had a fucking jam of a song. It just had like this heartbeat that would just pulsate around the whole fucking living room. But anyways, let's get straight into it. The episode that we're going to be talking about today is Tales of Dark Music. Before we actually get into the story, let me touch briefly on the Midnight Society that basically starts the episode off. It's basically like a scary kids club. They would get together alone in the woods at night and they would tell like scary stories to each other, essentially being our hosts for the show. And this was actually something very cool because I know that Goosebumps had the weird intros of R.O. Stine, but not every single episode had that. And R.O. Stine is just like the most boring pure person ever. Like he has the most dull, boring voice. Even when he's trying to emphasize something or try to be witty, it's just...
What's so scary about that? You'll see. Viewers beware. You're in for a scare.
But what stood out from Are You Afraid of the Dark is the fact that these little segments would cut in between the episode. They would have a beginning and an end, and they actually have some lore to it. Like they would introduce new characters. They would like not kill off, but like technically kill off new characters by having them move away or just simply not come back or be replaced by other. It was very Nickelodeon-esque of it because they would do the same shit for like shows like All That, where characters would grow up or something like that. They would just switch them out for a younger character. And again, so it was very unique because these little segments gave the show like a little bit of continuity, so you would kind of like keep watching it every week. So today's story is being told by Eric, who's making fun of Frank, another kid in the Midnight Society, because he lost his flashlight.
Well, you see,
All right, just forget it.
poor Frankie lost his flashlight.
Let it go, Eric.
This was like the small section before the actual story that I was talking about like 2 seconds ago. Most of them were a little more detailed and had a little more dialogue, but this one's just straight to the point. You know, Frank lost his flashlight. He basically got lost before getting to the Midnight Society, and Eric is there telling the story and making fun of him because he's
Afraid of the dark.
So the story starts off with this kid named Andy. His mom recently got divorced. They're a little tight on money, so he's basically taking like a little paperboy route around his new neighborhood. But they kind of got a little bit lucky because one of Andy's uncles that they barely knew passed away, and apparently they inherited the house. And the house had everything, and it was furnished, and it was like beautiful and shit like that. And they basically got a free house after the divorce and after being like basically poor. So things seem to be looking pretty good for the family for now. But then we meet the neighborhood bully, Coda. He's like a metalhead, kind of like bully and shit. You can tell he's a metalhead because he has a black shirt with a lot of skulls, and his hair's like very long, and you know, he's basically a dick.
You mess with me, kid, and I'll deck you. What?
Quick side note, I just realized that this show specifically has like that weird Nickelodeon style of camera, and it at some points in the actual story, it feels like I'm watching a skit in the Amanda Show. I don't know if you guys remember that show, but it has like that weird, I don't know, it's a camera style I've only seen in Nickelodeon shows. Anyway, so Coda tells Andy that his uncle was like a nut job, and just because he's family and related to him, that he's gonna bully him for the rest of his life.
Look, everybody was glad when your nutbag uncle kicked, then you had to show up.
Hey, I never even met the guy.
You're his family, it's the same thing. If you get in my face again, you're history.
Who are you?
I'm your new neighbor. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Like, he just straight up tells them that the whole neighborhood was happy when his uncle fucking died. That's fucking cold, bro. That's cold even for like a kid's show. Like, even for Nickelodeon. And we all know how cold that place is.
I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Andy goes home and asks his mom about his uncle and what happened to him. And this has to be like the most Nickelodeon skit-esque scene of the whole like show, because as Andy's mom is like trying to like comically put up a curtain, Andy pulls out like this big ass like toy shark from a box, and who could they have not gotten him like a lamp from the prop department or something? Like, I don't get why they just have to pull out this big ass toy shark. Like, who was in charge of the actual like the whole show? Like, who was in charge?
What was Uncle Niles like?
I don't remember. Last time I saw him, I was Christina's age. This is useless.
Andy's mom sends him to the basement to get a ladder, and here's where we find out that Andy's actually afraid of the dark. By the way, take a shot every time that I say afraid of the dark, or any character says afraid of the dark in this video.
Do me a favor, go down in the basement and see if he had a ladder.
The basement?
Yeah, there's a bunch of junk down there.
His sister Christina basically makes fun of him, and then Andy's like, whatever, I'm gonna put my big boy pants on and go to the basement.
I don't know.
What's the matter, Andy? Afraid of the dark?
No, I'm not afraid of the dark.
But he's fucking terrified. Like, it takes him like 3 or 4 minutes just to get down the stairs to the basement. And it's not even like that dark. It's actually very well lit if you look at the scene. It's like midday or something, so the sun is still out. So the basement is actually very, very well lit, to be honest. So inside the basement, there's this giant wooden door. And Andy discovers a radio and turns it on, and music basically starts playing. It's like this old school 1950s radio. But when the music starts playing and Andy starts doing his thing and getting distracted, the actual door starts shaking and opening. There's this like stupid, I don't know what happened, maybe like an issue with editing, but there's a moment where the door is actually moving and Andy goes,
I heard that.
but he does nothing about it. He just literally just turns back around and starts doing whatever he's doing. This kid probably has ADHD because he just totally gets distracted. So the door keeps shaking and then it finally opens. We see like this dark room and Andy finally turns around to notices that the door, to notice that the door is open. And then fucking Satan comes out. And there's like this big pair of like red eyes inside of the darkness. And the eyes like call out to Andy like,
come here, Andy. Come to me. Come and play.
Hello, Andy. Come on in.
And Andy just freaks the fuck out and just runs upstairs to get his mom. As he runs upstairs, he basically breaks the goddamn radio. And then that causes the monster to go back or to close the door back again. And we cut to like the Midnight Society because they would cut in between episodes to kind of like the kids say some stupid witty shit.
Boogeyman in the basement. I love it.
Uncle Niles may be dead, but he's not forgotten.
Shut the fuck up.
And then cut back to the episode. So that's basically what we got. And the only difference is in this one, the kid that they were making fun of, the fucking Frank, whatever his name is, the guy without the flashlight, he's not there anymore. And then Eric continues to tell the story.
Where'd he go? I didn't see him leave. He couldn't take it. I told you he was chicken.
We pick up right where we left off. Andy's basically dragging his mom and his sister down to the basement to show him the door. Then Andy says like the most random shit.
What's in there? It talked to me. It said, come in and I'll suck your blood or something like that.
And honestly, at least Andy's mom takes him seriously and grabs like a hockey stick as a weapon before she opens the door. So she's, you know, she's kind of cool. She opens the door and obviously the twist is there's nothing there. It's just like an empty cellar room. Like it's not dark like it was before.
Probably a rat or something.
Rats don't talk.
Good. I hate rats.
Don't come to my house or else I'll suck your dick. Blood. I'll suck your blood.
So Andy's mom just tells him that he's like, it was like a rat or something, and then we cut to the next day. We get to see a little bit more of Coda with his dad, and his dad just basically an asshole, making him like do chores for money, but I think that's how it's supposed to be. But they're trying to make it seem like Coda's dad is a drunk like redneck or something like that lives in this very well looking neighborhood, and he's making Coda like clean the steps of the front porch with like this hand brush. I don't get it. It's probably like, I don't know, probably torture for some kids to do fucking chores back in the 90s. I don't know.
And don't give me no lip. You want an allowance? You earn it.
So Andy's doing his like paper route at the time. He's just flinging fucking papers all crazy. And he accidentally flings a paper at Coda's house, but it bounces off like the bucket he's using with water and soap, and it gets him all wet. And again, it looks like a fucking skit from like the Amanda Show, but this pisses off Coda and he starts chasing down Andy. Andy runs home, but the front door is locked. And by the way, the house number is 420. And this is what they meant in that documentary by Dan Schneider, like hiding different jokes. Andy manages to escape and go inside the basement through like the outside like door, like the steps. I don't know what the fuck that's called, the cellar door or something. He escapes. He locks himself in the actual basement.
You're mine. I got you.
And then we get like this fake out scare with, we think something's gonna happen with the door, but it's actually Andy's sister that comes and scares him, and that's where the scene ends. We pick up like a little bit later in the day with Andy and his sister and his mom just chilling in the family room. Andy's like drawing. His sister's getting like some sick ass wins in Fortnite, like dubs and shit, no cap, yo. I'm at the point where I don't even know what's fucking cool anymore. Like I'm fucking old. I'm getting to that point where I'm just not even understanding it. I didn't know Riz meant charisma, to be honest. Andy asks like his mom about his like dead uncle, and she basically tells him the same shit that Coda said, that he was crazy, that he never left the house, and that she didn't know him, that the neighborhood didn't like him.
Who was Uncle Niles? Like, what did he do?
Oh, he was a strange guy. He never left the house, but somehow got filthy rich. Nobody knows where the money came from.
From what I hear, the neighbors didn't like him too much. I thought he was kind of loony.
But she does mention that he never left the house, but he was actually very rich. So that's like a little extra like detail we're getting through Andy's mom. He supposedly died from old age in the same basement that the demon, whatever, Kandarian shit is now down there.
How did he die?
He was old. Just stopped living. I found him in the basement at the bottom. Let's change the subject.
Andy's mom sends him to the basement again to do laundry, but she actually sent his sister, and she's just being a straight up dick. She's like, fuck off, mom, I'm playing here. I'm not gonna go downstairs to do any laundry. Send that fucking pathetic of a son that you have that's scared of the dark Andy. Like, she literally just says straight up no.
Chris, go down and put the clothes in the laundry for me, okay? Christina?
Mom, I'm busy.
Girl, shut the fuck up. I ain't gotta explain shit to you.
And then on top of that, she just teases the fuck out of Andy as he's going to the basement.
Remember, there's nothing down there.
So he's down there doing his laundry. He has a new radio. He turns it on. He's listening to music. He's just chilling. And then we see the door starting to open up again. And then Andy turns around and this fucking porcelain-looking doll straight from hell literally is approaching him, just trying to convince him to come and play with him.
We can have lots of fun. Just come with me.
The suit that they wore to like do this scene is just oddly terrifying because it's too tall to be a doll. It's like 5'6", and it's almost like the size of Andy, but the face looks like an actual doll. It just moves weirdly. So the demon doll is trying to convince Andy to play with him, and it's trying to like put him in a trance and shit so she can pull them inside of the closet. Pedophobia, that's what it's called. Not the phobia of those kinds of people, but the phobia of porcelain dolls. Pedophobia, that's what it's called. So Andy's about to grab the doll's hand and play with it, aka basically get dragged to hell. But since Andy's mom is kind of cool, you know, she tried to play a prank on him and go to the basement and turn off the lights. So when she turns off the breakers, the radio turns off at the same time, and it basically sends Annabelle back into the closet, and it snaps Andy out of the trance.
Hurry! Please hurry!
Hey, you! What are you doing?
We skip to the next day when Andy gets home and he reads a note that basically tells him, hey, go back to the basement and do more laundry because you didn't finish it yesterday. Because, I don't know, he just didn't finish it. And it's so funny because you can tell that the boy who played Andy, like the actual boy, is like at the peak of puberty because just listen to how he reads the message.
Hi, honey. I'll be at the store till 5. Do me a favor and throw these tarps in the wash.
So Andy basically goes back to the basement to do laundry. Lazy writing. And by now, we understand, the viewer understands, that music is what makes the demon, like, wake up. Because, yet again, the radio's on, you know, Andy's doing his thing, and then the door flings open, and we now get, like, this carnival and this Gene Wilder-looking dude inside of the carnival trying to convince Andy to come in, and, like, almost like that scene from It, where he's telling Andy? Is it Andy? Georgie, thank you. It's almost like that scene where Georgie and It meet for the first time, and he's like, oh, come here, carnival, and he just rips his fucking arm off. So we kind of get a PG version of that, because once, like, Andy's getting close to the door, like, the Gene Wilder looking dude turns into a skeleton, and he tries to pull them in.
Oh, don't stop now, son. You're almost here.
What's the matter, Andy? Don't you want to have some fun?
Like, he's literally trying to suck off, like, Andy with, like, why did I write it like that? Why did I fucking write it like that? Tries to suck Andy into the closet. That just sounds even worse. This happens.
Yeah! This is gonna be the show!
Andy now realizes that music is what basically summons this Kandarian demon from the closet. When he's being like sucked into the closet, he basically pulls the radio that disconnects the radio and then stops the demon from coming out. And he's so excited about the fact that he found literally Cthulhu, a cosmic being, in his closet, that he runs and goes to tell his mom.
I gotta tell Mom.
Gets on his bike and he's about to tell his mom, but then Coda shows up to get revenge of what happened yesterday, or whatever that happened with the bucket. And whenever it happened, like, he's back to get revenge.
Nice day for a ride, isn't it?
Oh shit, here we go again.
And he just straight up just punches Andy in the face. And not only does he does it once, he picks him up and just minga like twice, bro.
Get used to it, kid. I'm gonna beat on you for the rest of your life.
He takes Andy's bike and just throws it into an oncoming, like, truck. And the truck driver sees this happening and he doesn't stop. He just runs over the bike and keeps going. It's just, why? It's just, like, why?
Don't!
And here's where shit starts getting really dark. Andy sits in his front porch all sad and depressed, but comes up with a very messed up idea. Yep, it's exactly what you're thinking. Andy thinks about getting revenge by basically feeding this kid Coda to the fucking Kandarian demon that's in his basement. We get like this unnecessary montage of Andy like putting like these big ass speakers in the basement and connecting them. And again, I don't know where he bought these speakers, because he was low on money, and that's the whole reason why he's doing like a paper route that he can't do anymore, because he doesn't have a bike. But whatever, you know, at this point, fuck it, we're just going off the walls. So he basically sets up like this trap to get the bully inside of his basement and turn on the speaker so the demon basically eats him alive or takes him to hell or something like that. And we get this last scene where Andy wraps this big ass chunk of like hard wood in the newspaper, and it looks like he's about to kill or knock him out and drag him into the basement, but obviously that's not gonna happen because it's a kids show. But it just implies so many crazy shit. He says like this stupid ass line,
Howdy, neighbor.
as if that's going to deter us from the fact that he's about to feed a living human to fucking amygdala from Bloodborne that's in his closet just resting. And even though this episode is disturbing both in surface and in the meaning of the episode, there's a lot of why even do that in this episode, and a lot of why even do that in a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark? But it just seems like it's just some executive decisions they took in the back. Like, for example, you know how we saw Andy wrapping that chunk of like 2x4 in the paper, and we're like, that could actually kill someone? When he chucks it at Coda, it's like the most softest impact ever. It just bounces off his head like it was literally just paper. Like, we literally get no reaction, no flinching. It just bounces off and then he reacts.
When you're done, come over and clean my house. You make a good maid. You're dead.
So obviously Coda's pissed off because he just got fucking assaulted by a piece of wood wrapped in newspaper. He chases Andy down, and Andy manages to actually lock him in the basement.
Let me out, you little freak! Let me out, I'm gonna kill you!
Andy goes inside of the house and says the most dumbass line to like intimidate or make fun of Coda, like he's not about to commit secondhand cosmic murder.
What's the matter, Coda? You're not afraid of the dark, are you? I'm gonna kick your butt, Car, I swear! I don't know. I think your butt-kicking days are over.
Andy turns on the speakers super loud, and I think the volume of the music has a lot to do with how the demon acts, because the door is now glowing red and it flings open faster. Coda falls on the floor. There's this red light all around him. There's Demogorgon orgasms happening in the background. And we know that Coda's being either eaten alive or dragged to like this hell or another dimension. And here's where we get the twist of the actual episode. Andy walks down to check on Coda as if he didn't know that he was literally gonna feed him to the demon. And we see this brand new bike just in the middle of the basement. Andy turns on the radio again to summon the demon. And Bathsheba over here tells Andy that he can give him whatever he wants as long as he does one thing.
I'll give you anything you want. Just like I did for your uncle.
Who are you?
Anything you want. You only have to do one thing.
What's that?
Feed me, feed me.
And I love how they don't like cover it up or try to play it off as like something like, I don't know, bring me more friends. They literally straight up just say the word feed me. Like some weird puppet combo feed me Billy shit. Like a cosmic entity that needs to consume humans, I believe. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that basically explains the uncle being rich, because what the uncle would do is ask for money, and in exchange for money, he will give him like humans for that thing to eat. Because we don't get that much of an explanation, because the episode ends with like a small cliffhanger of Andy about to feed his sister to the demon. And it's just no happy endings at all. It just stops right there. And yeah, that's basically where the episode ends. We get like a small segment in the end again with the Midnight Society and Eric and Frank. And Eric stays back after everybody leaves to wait for Frank. And then Frank comes out of nowhere and scares them because we knew that was going to happen. But yeah, it's like a small ending segment.
Payback's a bitch.
And to be honest, my final thoughts is it's very dark. It feels almost like an It ripoff, but at the same time, is very different than the other couple episodes that I've watched, because Are You Afraid of the Dark has some very good visuals. It's very dark, especially with the context of how it ends and how we know what probably is going to happen afterwards. If his mom finds out, they're probably going to keep doing the same shit and killing people or feeding them to this demon to get more stuff, because who wouldn't? Comment down below if you would feed like people to the demon to get money, because eventually we know that the uncle died from the demon because he died near the door in the basement. But whatever. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out because I gotta go to work in like 3 hours, and I'm gonna make myself a ham and cheese and like Italian bread sandwich. And yeah, I'm leaving.
If you fuck your cousins, your babies will turn out weird. You might get one with a unibrow.